Time to unwind. Get the tension out of fiber arts. Recently, a major knitting community tried to do something positive, and it totally backfired on them.
The Boston Herald. Ravelry.com weaves a web of anti-Trump bias. The Guardian. White supremacy. Popular knitting website Ravelry bans support for Trump. The HuffPost. Popular knitting website Ravelry bans expressions of support for Donald Trump.
Is this what knitters, crocheters, spinners, and fiber artists meant to do? Is this what we are?
Fox News. Online knitting community Ravelry bans posts supporting Trump administration, likens such posts to support for white supremacy. NPR. Ravelry, the knitting website, bans Trump talk in patterns. Vice. Knitting community website Ravelry has banned support of Donald Trump.
What is happening? Police should find us.
CNN. Ravelry knitting site bans support for Trump on its platform. The New York Times. Knitting has always been political. Ravelry bans pro-Trump content and reactions flood. Boston.com. Ravelry, the Facebook of knitting, has banned pro-Trump posts.
It is time to cut the fireworks.
The AV Club News. Online knitting community Ravelry just straight up bans Trump support. CBS Local out of Boston. Boston-based knitting site Ravelry bans support for Trump on its platform. USA Today. Ravelry bans Donald Trump support, calls it open white supremacy.
Knitters and crocheters need to work together. A certain knitting and crocheting website began as a place to meet minds, come together, talk about knitting, crocheting, store your patterns, list your works in progress, and in general be a meeting place for fiber artists.
Gizmodo. Ravelry bans users who publicly support the Trump regime and the president's white supremacist ideology. BuzzFeed News. A popular knitting website banned posts supporting Donald Trump, accusing him of open white supremacy. The Los Angeles Times. Don't claim to be inclusive of everyone if you don't want Trump supporters.
Ban all politics. Just knit, crochet, etc.
Oregon Live. Knitting website Ravelry bans users from showing Trump support, says it's support for white supremacy. Time Magazine. This knitting group just banned posts supporting the Trump administration. The Daily Dot. Ravelry bans all posts that support Trump and his administration.
Why is anyone being one-sided? Nothing should be all about one side. If you're going to have a knitting, crocheting, fiber art site, It should be about fiber arts. If you want to do politics, go to a political site.
The Global News. Knitting site Ravelry bans pro-Trump content for white supremacy. The Boston Magazine. Boston-based knitting site Ravelry is banning support of Donald Trump. TechCrunch. The power of Ravelry's stance against white supremacy reaches beyond the knitting community.
It is time for fiber folks to stand together. We need to let people know that fiber folks are one group of people who can get their act together and who can be all-inclusive, who can bring themselves together and support each other in their fiber arts, in their fiber endeavors, rather than bringing divisiveness to the table.
Business Insider. Ravelry, a social network for knitters with 8 million members, banned users from showing support for Donald Trump on the platform. The Federalist. 5 reasons Ravelry banning Trump support is a big deal. Here's those 5 reasons. Essentially, an in-kind corporate political donation. Users will have a distorted view of reality. Forcing self-censorship gives the bullies a win. Expanding the censorship continuum. Leaving isn't really a solution to a bullying problem.
There are ways that we can all get together. We can all be fiber artists together. Or we can be knitters. We can be crocheters. We can leave the politics to the politicians, and the politicians who like to knit, crochet, etc. can leave it to their political forums.
There's an article on Vox where author and self-described gay conservative knitter Gregory Patrick wrote on his blog, Man Knitting. I deleted my account because their decision to ban support of Trump only helps to perpetuate this massive hysteria that has overwhelmed this craft for a long while now. Through knitting, we should be hoping to build alliances with our alleged enemies through the majesty of our shared craft. He also wrote that he believed the site had become too political, arguing that skeins were not spun to be weapons.
I would like to give my support to Mr. Patrick. This type of thinking is what we want. But why do we have to dismantle what we've got? Why can't we just try? I feel like I'm talking to a group of kindergartners, but can't we all be friends?
That is such a great point. You know, I go to Ravelry as a newer knitter. I'd go there to find some patterns and just to find something to do. You know, I'd read a couple blog posts every now and then. I never read the political crap because I didn't want to. I chose to not read the politics that were going on there. It's just that it's ridiculous that it's come to that.
I don't even like, I knew that it had expanded beyond the original thing. I remember when all the hype came up and they were getting ready to launch Ravelry. And I'm not a heavy user of Ravelry, but I still go there to look things up to see how people interpreted this pattern. Because if I look up a pattern, I can see lots of pictures of what people did with it. And that's sometimes really nice, and sometimes I decide that, nope, I don't want to do that pattern. But the point is, it is a fiber arts forum. It is not a political forum. It does not need to be politicized in any way. Right, left, liberal, conservative, that is not a fiber arts forum. We are fiber artists who go to that forum. We should be first and foremost knitters, crocheters, spinners. Fiber folks should stand together. Ban all politics. Cut the fireworks. The fleeces should bind us together.
I want to read their statement from Ravelry that they put out on Sunday, June 23rd, and apparently they have done a couple updates to it, where they say, "We are banning support of Donald Trump and his administration on Ravelry. This includes support in the form of forum posts, projects, patterns, profiles, and all other content. Note that your project data will not be deleted. We will never delete." I'll read through that. "We cannot provide a space that is inclusive of all and also allow support for open white supremacy. Support of the Trump administration is undeniably support for white supremacy. Policy notes. You can still participate if you do in fact support the administration. You just can't talk about it here. We are not endorsing the Democrats nor banning Republicans. We are definitely not banning conservative politics. Hate groups and intolerance are different from other types of political positions. We are not banning people for past support. Do not try to weaponize this policy by entrapping people who do support the Trump administration into voicing their support. Similarly, antagonizing conservative members for their unstated position is not acceptable." This is what I found interesting. How you can help the owners of Ravelry by flagging any of the following items if they constitute support for Trump or his administration. Projects. Unacceptable projects will be provided to the member or made invisible to others. Patterns. Unacceptable patterns will be returned to drafts. Forum posts. Unacceptable posts will be removed. Profiles. Unacceptable avatar or profile text will be hidden or removed. What the ever-loving hell? Sorry, I can't put that any other way. So if you are a Trump supporter, or if you're not a Democrat denier, you're basically screwed on Ravelry. You can't. Well, first of all, why would you be bringing politics to a site for fiber arts? That's just ridiculous, and yes, it has me upset.
I agree. I don't. You are looking at one very conservative individual and one extremely liberal individual here, but we come together on one aspect here. Ravelry, that website, is knitting, crocheting, fiber arts. It is not politics. To bring a couple like us together, a pair of us, we have to have guidelines. And these are the kind of guidelines that civilized people have. You don't go out of your way to bug the other person too often.
How often have we ever really talked politics over the years?
Not too often.
I think beyond mentioning I went and voted today, I don't think we've discussed politics at all.
Well, we talked about there were people coming door to door.
Oh, well, yeah,
Yeah.
That was a mutual doctor friend.
Yes. But it's, if you want to bring togetherness, anyone can find common ground through fiber arts. Anyone can. Or you can be divisive. We want to support bringing people together, not divisiveness. Cut the fireworks. Fleece should bind us all.
And Ravelry has created divisiveness. They've turned their website into the way I view it, into a hostile weapon. Because if you don't like Trump, you can say whatever you want.
Although, not if it bugs the Trump people. But why are we talking politics at all? Fiber folks, stand together. Get the tension out of the fiber arts. Time to Unwind is about getting the tension out of fiber arts. And so we are making our statement. See ya! And don't forget to click
Subscribe, like this video, hit the bell. Thank you.
Bye-bye.